Yo, 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 what's up? We are back again, Hoops and Brews. Is this the first one since the new year?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh
Yeah,
shit. Well, I mean, I feel like I think so. I feel like after you get to like January 7th, you can't tell nobody Happy New Year no more. Uh but
yeah, I might.
because
Do that.
but because I haven't seen you, we haven't spoken to you guys since it was 2022. Happy New Year. I hope your festivities were great, and I hope your new year got off to a great start. Joe, how you been, brother?
I've been pretty good. This rain been cooking me. I've been hiding. I was actually driving last night through some of the rain. It's pretty crazy out here. I never seen. It's been. I ain't seen rain like this in over like at least 5, 6, 7 years or whatever. But I mean, I'm solid. I'm chill. But yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen rain like this in LA before, and I've almost lived here a decade. I've never like it thundered last night. It was
for
thunder and
real.
lightning last, yeah, in the valley. I mean, it was like granted, it was like one thing of like lightning. It wasn't like actual thunder and lightning, like it wasn't a thunderstorm, but I definitely saw thunder. I'm like, yo, is this what? Excuse me, I'm not. I saw lightning. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Where am I? Am I in fucking Seattle right now, bro? What's up?
Yes, well, it's flooding in places and stuff. But yeah, I was driving the speed limit last night. Oh.
Man, like yo, like earlier when I walked out of my house, it looked like a fucking pool in the street.
That's why it's a lot of those across the city right now.
Yeah,
Pools, little dips, all that.
yeah, for real, yeah, for sure. But let's start off with, I guess, some of the, I guess, newest news today. There has been a report that Steph Curry is returning to action tonight. The Warriors play the Timberwolves. They played them on TNT. It's a primetime game. Steph has missed what the last probably what month and a half.
Pretty much, yeah. A little,
He,
maybe a month and a half, right? Yeah, like pretty much. He went around the same time as AD.
yeah, he missed the last month. Yeah, facts. Because my fantasy team has been. By the way, Steph is coming back to save my fantasy team the week I'm playing you, and he's coming back to the to the.
Wait, in
I'm
which in the
playing you
sleeper
this week.
league? In the sleeper
No,
league,
no, the in
ESPN. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
young
okay.
league.
Let me make sure I get my start my people.
So yeah, but anyway, Steph is back. Obviously, good news for the Warriors. As the Warriors sit right now, the Warriors are in the conference. I am pulling up NBA.com to look. The Warriors sit. They actually sit six, so they're currently out of the play-in. They sit six in the conference. They are directly at 500 at 20-20. Um, I mean, what do you think this means for the Warriors? Also, can you, I guess, give a outlook on the rest of the season for the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, I think this is going to be huge for the Warriors. This should be what jumpstarts their pretty much their title run. They need to. I think they. I don't think they want to have anything to do with the play-in moving forward. I think that they Steph out being out was kind of a blessing in disguise. I feel like you saw Clay average the most points you've seen him average since like 2018. He had a game where he had 45, right, something like that.
Something like
He had
that.
a game winner, if I'm correct. He was just Steph. I think Clay took advantage of this. He was finding his rhythm. Draymond stepped more into a playmaking role. Poole got to get more shots up, and I think that was really a blessing. This guys got to find their rhythm, and I feel like now is just when they hit the ground running. I sense a very dominant stretch from the Warriors coming up soon, and they will remind us once again why they won a championship last year and why they are the most successful franchise in the league over the past decade, without unanimously, without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm with all that. Obviously, they traded water. Like I think when Steph went down, they were I think 10th in the conference, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've been able to trade water. I think at one point in time they won like 4 or 5 straight games. I know they lost 2 in a row here, but it didn't get. And then luckily for them, nobody in the West has really broken out like we're the team. Like everybody is still kind of. I mean, obviously, you got the Nuggets and Grizzlies and Pelicans, but the Pelicans have had their injury concerns. I mean, the Grizzlies have, the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies, but the Nuggets are the Nuggets. The Mavericks were on a solid little we're on a win streak, but the Clippers have had their struggles. The Suns have had their struggles. We will get into
Definitely.
that, but nobody has really broken out in the conference. So basically, they're still right there in the thick of things. Like when I look at their record, they're 20-20. They could realistically finish shit 4th, 5th. I mean, I don't think they'll end up winning the conference unless they go on some like cataclysmic run, but like they could realistically finish 4th. You know, I think what last year they finished third. What, or was it second last year?
I'm pretty sure it was second, right? Oh no, it was third because Memphis had second. They didn't have home court advantage against Memphis, right? They
Yeah,
were third.
yeah.
Memphis was second. Phoenix first.
Yeah, so they can be in like a situation kind of like what they were last year, I think. And then also it's not just Steph, like Wiggins was hurt as well. So I think the Warriors
Oh
are,
yeah, that's right.
I think the Warriors are at a position like what they've played 40 games. So basically, you see, it's actually always funny because people say that the All-Star break is like the halfway point of the season. Really is King Day. Dr. King Day is pretty much like the halfway point of the season. Once you get to King Day, most teams have played about 43, 44, 45 games. Again, they're pretty much have their whole roster back. Basically at the halfway point of the season, they have 42 games left. And again, we'll see what they do. Luckily for Steph, granted, obviously he's a shooter, but wasn't it his left shoulder and not his right shoulder, if I'm not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was his left shoulder. Also, luckily for him, it wasn't a lower extremity injury. So I don't think you have to worry about, him getting his stamina. Like I'm, sure he was up, moving around, still training, would still be able to, get on the treadmill. So luckily you don't have to worry about those things. But yeah, I'm with you. And also I think it puts people, obviously it puts people back like in their actual places. And yes, you're right. Clay got a chance to, really shoot as much as, Clay was going to shoot as much as he wanted to shoot regardless, but he really got a chance to shoot as much as he wanted to shoot.
He really got it.
He really got a chance to shoot as much as he wanted to shoot. Jordan Poole got to handle the ball more. That was a good and bad thing at times. But he still got to do it more. I think he's in a better rhythm now than what he was at the beginning of the season. And I think that I was never one that made too much of the Warriors' struggles. I think that they were maybe a little bit disinterested. This is a pretty veteran-laid team. Well, not pretty. It's a very veteran-laid team. At this point, I don't think you really get up for those early December, late November games. I think now they're starting to round it into shape. And hey, even like a guy like Iggy. Iggy is back playing basketball now. So they pretty much got all their guys. But granted, I don't know what Iggy has left or what Iggy's gonna do. I have zero idea. But that's just me saying that they're at a point now in which they have all of their guys back. Guys can go back into their rightful places, and they getting their guys back at a very good time. They're 20-20. Tonight will be their 41st game. So literally at the halfway point of the season, where they've literally at the halfway point of the season, they're getting all the guys back, which I think bodes well for them.
Yeah, I feel you. But like Ron was in the comments right now, he said this the trash Warriors. Like right now, they basically like they're very vulnerable, like as compared to the teams in the past. Like they aren't really that great, and like it's kind of wide open right now. But they do still have their chance.
Luckily for them, nobody else is that great. When you look at the Western Conference, who do you say like, oh yeah, this team is just unbeatable?
There's nobody you're looking at like that. Even though the Mavericks, not the Mavericks, the Nuggets have been looking great as of late. 8-2 in their last 10. Memphis finally caught a rhythm.
Yeah,
but there's nobody that's invincible. I can't.
Yeah, like like me, I still have questions about the Nuggets. I still think number one, Jokic's defense against a team like the Warriors when he has to defend high pick and roll will still be an issue. I've said for years, I think that in order to maximize the Nuggets, you need somebody in theory what Jonathan Isaac was supposed to become right next to Jokic. I like Aaron Gordon, but I don't think Aaron Gordon has the capacity defensively to offset Jokic's defensive deficiencies. Now, granted, that may not matter. Even if you go back to the first round last year when the Warriors and Nuggets played, yes, they got swept, but it wasn't like they got cooked in every game. They didn't go out there and get cooked. Now, granted, obviously, Steph was coming back off injuries, coming off the bench, whatever, but it wasn't like they went out there and got cooked. So maybe, I am overstating it too much. The Grizzlies, shout out the Grizzlies. I just don't think they can beat the Warriors in the actual playoff series. I still think they need somebody else who can go out there and get their own bucket consistently. I could be wrong, but hey, who knows? The Mavericks, just when I look at the conference has so many questions that again, like with the Warriors, if I gotta put my money on somebody right now, I still might put it on the Warriors to at least come out the conference personally. So I guess we could leave it there for Steph. Shout out Steph. Glad to see you back playing basketball, brother, especially because you're on my fantasy team. You have come back to save the day. Now, if I get Anthony Davis come back, I can go back to consistently winning fantasy basketball matchups. But moving on to a team that I covered, to a team. I actually don't disagree with that. The Nuggets, Jared Vanderbilt is a guy that I think could be great on the Nuggets. Shout out Ronald for saying that. I actually do agree with that. That is actually a guy that if you play 2K, he's always in like the defensive player of the year things when you play 2K. So I actually do fully yes, I agree with that. But Clippers 6-game losing streak. I'll let you go first about the Clippers. They've lost 6 in a row. They play the Mavericks tonight as we are recording this on January 10th. They play the Mavericks tonight. The Mavericks are coming in off a 2-game losing streak. I think it's questionable if Luka will play, but I hope Luka does play. But yeah, what do you think about the Clippers?
The Clippers, I feel like they have a hard time finding lineups with good chemistry that actually work. Like you said multiple times, they have a lot of the same player, and a lot of guys are in and out of the lineup. It's very, very hard for them to get a real rhythm as far as like what they want to do on offense and kind of their team identity. Despite the fact I think my favorite player on the team is I've been enjoying Zubac. Kawhi's in and out.
Zubac has been balling.
Zubac has been balling. Season. He holds down the 5 spot amazingly for him. I mean, the backup 5 minutes still questionable. They has Marcus been out there, right?
Yeah, he been out there.
But I just think they have with Ty Lue. Ty Lue has to. They run out of time, and Ty Lue just has to find something. Because I still think, I would still say like on paper, this is still like pretty much like the powerhouse. Like I mean, on paper, it's still like pretty much the powerhouse team. If you look at it, what team like it seems like the championship right now is coming out the East, and if you look at it, it's like what teams do you really think can beat the Bucks or the Celtics in the series out the West? It's kind of if you're looking down, you're like I don't really have no confidence in any of these teams to beat those teams, and it's kind of like only team I really would is the Clippers, but they can't seem to get it together. They too inconsistent. They don't have a real rhythm. It seems like they just started playing basketball. Every time they start to get something like they do start to get something going, another guy's out the lineup, and they feel like they just kind of got together yesterday. Like they haven't pretty much had the same core for the past 3 or 4 years. They need to figure out a way to get some real chemistry. They need to find it fast. They'll probably have one All-Star and Paul George maybe this upcoming. I said maybe they'll probably have one All-Star. Reggie Jackson and John Wall. Reggie Jackson, their decision making at times is very questionable as far as whether it's a shot he chucks or a pass he tries to make. It's just the Clippers. They need to. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I put it mainly, honestly, a lot of those on Ty Lue. He needs to find a lineup and a rotation that works because what he's been doing right now they haven't been able to find something. I feel like they should be able to get something. I know the guys are in and out, but the expectations are a little too high for what they have for them to be failing like this. A 6-game losing streak is pretty crazy.
The Clippers hoop like they don't hang out with each other.
That's
like
fair.
They hoop like the only time they see each other is at the gym. Like they don't do nothing else together as a team. That's how they play basketball. Like they do literally nothing else together as a team but show up to practice and show up to games. Also, like you said, the Clippers need somehow to find a way to get at least 10 to 15 games with the team that Lawrence Frank and Jerry West actually signed to get them on the court. Like, bro, Kawhi come back, not PG got a hamstring issue, and Luke Kennard out. Then I'm sure when they get back, Norman Powell gonna go out of the lineup. Then I'm sure when they get back, Kawhi gonna be resting because he can't play back to back. It's just like
it's something. It's always gonna be something. They can't develop.
Like they just can't develop. And again, and I know people talk about maybe the Clippers have too many players. I don't think they have too many players. It's just that like, but even like looking at the team, even at the start of the season, Ty Lue was gonna have his work cut out for them because you have so many guys who everybody they have is pretty much a rotation player for like every team in the league.
Yeah, for every that's facts. For every team in the league.
Like they have at least 10 to like even the guys that don't play, like Amir Coffey could be a rotation player if he was on shit. The Warriors could play in right now. Like they have guys that will be rotation players pretty much everywhere in the league. So it's like the talent is there. It's just like how to make it all work. And again, yes, they still do have like 3 of the same players. And then even when you put Terrence Mann in like the starting lineup, which I actually do like Terrence Mann starting lineup, I think he gives them something a little bit differently. But he's not the best shooter. He's been better as of late, but it's just they just have so much, and they just need to play. I can sit up here and make so like, oh, like this schematically, and they need to make this trade. No, they need to play. They don't need to make no trades. They got the team they need. They need to get on the court and play basketball. Kawhi Leonard, he looks fine. And granted, yes, I think the Clippers as a whole can look old and slow at times because they just have an older team in general. At this point, I mean, like, go down the roster. Everybody that they pretty much depend on. I mean, look, PG 32, Kawhi 31, Norman Powell 29, Marcus Morris 33, John Wall 32, Reggie Jackson 32, Zubac 25, Luke 26, Terrence Mann 26, Nico 34, Rocco 32. So everybody that they depend on is like older players. So yes, like they do look old, unathletic, and slow at times. But Kawhi still looks fine. PG, when he's out there, he looks like Paul George. They just need to get on the court and play. Now, granted, I think I'm with you with as far as the guards go. I think if you have one weakness on the Clippers, it's the guards. But with the way that they use their wings, they don't let the guards be guards anyway for the most part.
Do you want to let them be guards though? Is that
I think Reggie Jackson is a combo guard anyway. Like you never in life depended upon, well, except for the Pistons back when they gave him $84 million. You never really depended on Reggie Jackson to like Chris Paul it out there. Like that was never what you like. You expected him, go out there and get your 20, 22 points and get us 6 assists. And we cool with that. You wasn't expecting him to go out there and maestro the whole offense and dime everybody up.
That was outside of that 2020 was that 2021 that playoff run when they lost in the conference finals to the Suns. That year he was doing all that, but
he wasn't maestro. He was he wasn't maestro. He was shooting the fuck out the ball. He was shooting like 40% from 3.
That kind of goes hand in hand though. Fair. Like all the attention he got kind of forced him to spread it out a little bit.
Fair. So, I mean, and John Wall, he's solid with conducting the bench, but it's just sometimes John Wall thinks it's 2016, and it's like, brother, slow down. And I think he's been a little bit loose with the basketball at times, but even with John Wall, he don't play back-to-backs. He always on injury management. So it's like he have a great game, then he got to sit down, then he come back in again and play, and they got a back-to-back, he got to sit back down. It's just they need to get on the court and play. So, like, yes, I do put certain things on Ty Lue because, again, you still out there, Ty. You out there, you looking at everything happening. Like even the Hawks game the other day, you put Norman Powell in when Terrence Mann was having a great game, I thought, and you let Norman Powell pretty much play out the whole fourth quarter, even though you like the Hawks game. I don't know how they lost. I was there and I have no idea. They were down 15 and a half, came back, and then Trae Young scored like the last 10 points on free throw, and they lose. I'm like, I don't even know.
They have stretches where they just clock out on the court, where they just like, oh, we up, or they're like, whatever it is, and they'll just throw a lazy pass, and then they'll come down again, throw another lazy pass, or they'll give up an offensive rebound. It's just they look very lackadaisical at times and very unmotivated.
I think
the issue is, they won the championship last year or something.
I think the issue is, and granted, we are at the point, we are pretty much at, well, we at that. They are literally at the, they have played 42 games. So they are over the halfway point at the season. You know what their offensive rating is?
What is it?
27th out of 30.
They're the 27th ranked team?
Yes. Now, the one thing that they've been able to hold their hat on all year is their defense. Fair. They're 7th in defense, top 10 defense. But the offense, I don't know what they're trying to run most times. Like most teams, like I get what I don't know what they're trying to run. It's like ISO, swing, swing, swing. And then also everybody's role changes too much from night to night. One night, Marcus Morris, you be a shooter. The next night, they want you to be fucking Carmelo Anthony. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody roles changes too much from night to night. Like, and that I don't think it has anything to do with
that point.
And now I don't think that has so much to do with people not being there. I think that has something to do with, because again, like even for instance, right? If you look at the Nuggets, right? Even when their guys weren't there, I still think they all had the same role. Like even when Porter wasn't there, even when Murray was there, I still think all the guys on the team still had the same role.
That's fair. To be fair, we haven't really seen without Jokic though. Without him, I think people would for sure slide around a little more.
I feel that, but same time, how many times do they go out there without Kawhi or PG? One of them be there.
Or between Kawhi and PG?
Yeah, like one of them be there. And they pretty much play. I mean, I know PG is maybe plays a little bit more perimeter out than Kawhi. Kawhi is a little bit more mid-range, things like that. But one of your main centerpieces is usually always there for the most part. Usually. So I think they need more defined roles on this basketball team from night to night that don't change no matter who's on the court. I know they can be hard, but I think that would help their offense along. Like their offense is 27th. And again, like I said, I think a lot of that is one, they have the same player 4-5 times. And again, the roles aren't clearly defined. You can't ask players every night to show up and do something different. I think
That's very. That's gonna be good.
I think the most defined role is Zubac. Go out there, get every rebound, protect the rim. If we dump the ball down to you, please make a layup and roll hard.
Zubac and Kawhi and PG, them three. Besides
everybody else is like, we'll figure this shit out night to night.
Yeah, after one night they want Markieff Morris to be Bruce Bowen. Next night they want him to be motherfucking. They want him shooting every other shot. I mean, yeah, it's
one night they want Luke Kennard to hand the ball in the pick and roll. The next night is shoot everything. Now, granted, you can shoot everything, but handling the ball, it's just one night Reggie got to conduct some shit. The next night he in the corner, like literally, like Reggie, like one of them would not be there. Reggie be conducting the offense. They both got there. Reggie go to the corner. It's like if you're gonna put him in the corner, just keep him there the whole time and just give PG the ball the whole time. Well, I don't know, something. So I think they just need more defined roles on this basketball team, but they got to get it together. They have to get it together. It doesn't look like they have a lot of fun playing basketball right now. And yeah, this doesn't look like a team that hangs out with each other. To me, they just don't look like they hang out with each other.
That's fair. I can't.
They just don't. So I guess we could leave it at there for the Clippers. I know they play the Mavericks, obviously, tonight, and they play the Nuggets on Friday. So we'll see if the losing streak extends to 8. I think it's a very good possibility. It could, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on to the next team that's on a losing streak, the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns are also on a 6-game losing streak. I'm not as like.
I'm enjoying their downfall.
Now, I'll say this. I think the Phoenix Suns title contender hopes died a death by Luka Doncic in that game 7. When he dropped Cam Johnson off, that was the end of the Phoenix Suns title contention, in my personal opinion. So but I don't think their losing streak is as bad as them losing the games. Number one, Devin Booker's out. Like when Devin Booker is there, he is the one or two best shooting guard in
top 10 player no less than 15.
Arguably he's a top 10 player. If not top 10, he's definitely a top 15 guy. He's arguably the one or two best. No, he's not. He's for a fact the second or first best shooting guard in the NBA, depending on who you want to go with, Donovan Mitchell this year or Devin Booker, whatever you want to do. They're missing him. They're also missing Cam Johnson. Chris Paul has been, in and out. Jay Crowder hasn't played all year. Even Aiden has been in and out. So I'm not as like pressed about the Suns 6-game losing streak. They need to get healthy. Now, like I said, I think their title contention is completely over with, but I do think this is still a good basketball team. Even if they make no moves as constructed, it's still a good basketball team. I do think they could use another scorer. I think one of the issues why it's hard to win games with Devin Booker go down is because ain't nobody got no shimmies. But I've said this all year. I've said this for 2 years. Nobody has shimmies. You got 2 players with shimmies. You say it's only 1 player now because you say Chris Paul don't have no shimmies no more. If you want to say that,
got nothing.
If you want to say
nothing
that,
no more, really.
If you want to say that, that's fine. Aiden, they don't give Aiden the ball like that. It seems to me like Aiden kind of. How old is DeAndre Aiden?
No more older than 25, right?
DeAndre Aiden is 24 years old. So I don't want to say he is who he is at this point because DeAndre Aiden is still a very good basketball player. Like the man is shooting 60% and giving you 17 points. So that's still very good. But it doesn't seem like DeAndre Aiden is going to pop up and be, David Robinson or some shit tomorrow. So he kind of just is who he is, a guy that you can dump down, you can dump the ball down to him and get some buckets, but he's not a guy that's probably going to be the complete focal point of your offense. So you probably need somebody else with some shimmies. I think that's a team that could maybe be looking for something at the trade deadline. What assets they have to get said thing at the deadline from who? I have no idea.
They've been stopping Crowder all year and they got nothing back for him. I think that's hurting the team as well, especially with all the injuries. It's glaring. The no Crowder and all the injuries. If everybody wasn't hurt, it wouldn't be as bad. But the fact that they haven't moved Crowder is glaring, and the fact that the front office hasn't done anything is kind of disappointing, especially for what the Suns' expectations.
Also, the front office is in this weird situation where it's like they have to ask permission from ownership because they're like going through a sale of the team. So it's like they're just in like a really weird situation over there in Phoenix. So like I said, I think their title contention is done, but I don't think that they need to hit the panic button because of their losing streak. I think they need to get guys back healthy, and as long as Devin Booker can play and he is healthy, I think that they'll at least they'll have something to say in the playoffs, in my personal opinion. But you can go ahead.
With the Suns, I just think they pretty much it happens all the time in the NBA. They just had their 2 minutes of fame. They had their title window and it closed very quick. You saw with the Rockets, they had a title window. They were competing up there every year. Now they're at the bottom of the barrel. Saw with Oklahoma City, they were title contenders pretty much in and out every single year. Now they're down at the bottom of the barrel. Orlando even made it to the finals one year. Now they back down. It's a repeating process of once you get that chance to win that title, you got to go out and get it because you're not gonna have too many opportunities to get back there. And it's pretty much their title contention, like you said, is pretty much over. But they do still have a very good team. And Chris Paul, this is probably the worst year of his career. I'm not sure, maybe since I don't know if I got to compare this to his rookie year, but Chris Paul hasn't really been there. Aiden is not growing into the number one pick that he was supposed to be. Aiden has probably been one of the worst number one picks.
Whoa, no, he's not.
So.
No, he
especially when you.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? No, he has not been. What are we doing? What are we doing?
No, when you look at who was taking over, they could have had Luka.
What are we doing?
Alone.
No,
he's been one of the worst. Yes, he has.
No, he has not been. No, he hasn't. Bro.
The Suns. Yes, he has. Chris Paul, they can't. I mean, the fact that you can't rely on your number one pick, and the fact that your number one pick, you get to the finals with your number one pick, and he gets thoroughly outplayed the way he did. That's not a good say. That's a red flag right there alone. Okay, but he's the number one pick.
It's fucking Giannis.
Well, we wasted the first pick on the draft for him. I don't think you take Luka. I don't think Luka's getting thoroughly outplayed by Giannis in the finals. I don't think so. For the expectations that he had and for the opportunities he's had, he's been very underwhelming. Like his own team don't even want to pass him the ball most of the time out there. You feel me? I mean, I'm not, but their championship window is over. They're still a very good team in Phoenix. What else do I have to? Like you said, Mikal Bridges, no shimmies. Shamet has actually given them good minutes this year. Dwayne Washington has been good when he gets out there. He's a scorer off the bench. But they need to hurry up and they need to move Crowder soon, depending on where they can get for. I mean, like you said, it's tough because they got to ask for permission above them. But if they can, somehow they got to make that shake because this is a wasted asset. The trade deadline is on the way. I heard Harry Trauma was a guy that they were considering for Crowder. I've seen rumors about that. If they can maybe, I don't know, like we talked about this earlier, but possibly somehow steal Kuzma, a couple other guys that have been talked about, they can steal somebody that can give them a jolt heading into this post trade deadline season. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think Aiden. I like that comment. Said Aiden should be a Pacer. I think Aiden would be having a much better year if he was a Pacer. I think honestly, because I feel like Hayden hates the Suns just as much as we all do. Like as much as like Laker fans do. Sometimes
he does not want to be there. I mean, honestly, Aiden is a name. I mean, I think the people who sign contracts can be traded on January 15th. Aiden is a name. Maybe he ain't there post trade deadline. Maybe the Indiana thing does happen. Maybe it does.
That would be amazing.
Like maybe the Indiana thing does happen.
That would break Twitter. Now, great. I'll be excited.
Now, granted, Indiana, I think is having the type of season where it's like I don't know if they want to mess with what they have going on because they actually do have a really solid basketball team. But I mean, maybe you want to do a Miles Turner for Aiden Swap. I don't know. I have no idea, huh?
They still haven't paid Miles Turner yet. He's supposed to be. He got an expiring contract this year. This is last year of his deal.
He does expire contract, so maybe that's something that you can get done or something like that. But yeah, like I said, but either way, I think all these things for the Suns are pretty lateral moves. Like I think they've just missed their opportunity to be a championship team. I think that they're gonna have to. I think Chris Paul has one more year after this. I think.
I hope so for a
great year, and then I think Chris Paul has after this.
I think it's more than that.
No, he has one more year after this, and then he has I think it's a team option in 24-25.
Oh, it's a team option?
Team option.
Oh,
so they can decline it or whatever. But regardless, they're
declining the hell out of that.
But regardless, he has one more year after this. They're just in a situation where I think they just are who they are. Like luckily for them, their guys, their core is still young. So you can like rebuild without having to like get bad. Right. Like, luckily, Devin Booker is still like what 26, 27
Book is
years old.
young. McHale is
Mikal is
young.
still young. Cam
Aiden is
Johnson, if you
young.
pay him,
Cam
is young.
Johnson is young.
If whether Aiden is there or not, if he, if we patch it, Aiden is still young. So granted, like they don't have to get completely bad to rebuild, but they need to rebuild everything around those guys personally. So yeah, I think their championship window is over, but I wouldn't panic too
They
much.
folded when they also not long with the Aiden, but they picked what's his name? Is it Jalen Smith, the Pacers guy?
Yeah.
What's his? They picked him over Hallie. That could have changed. They could have had Halliburton that year.
Yeah, but
their
but
draft
they
are now kind of more penalizing them more than ever.
I'm not mad at that though, because you did have Chris Paul and you did have Devin Booker. So you think that your backcourt is sealed up.
I guess, but I mean, you also had Aiden at the time too. Isn't he a center? And
yes, but Jalen Smith plays the 4. So maybe you think, you get Jalen. But also the thing with Jalen Smith is having a solid year in Indiana.
He's having a solid year, but not a repick type year.
But the thing is, like, but again, also the thing is with the Suns is like, if I'm not mistaken, that was coming off the bubble season, right?
I think so, yeah.
Coming off the bubble season, so you get Chris Paul, you get like a shot in the arm. Now I don't know if they thought that they were, complete title contenders, but maybe they did think that they were complete title contenders.
I think
Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul could have been more more reasoning to draft Hallie. That'd have been the coldest mentor. He's obviously moving. He's not getting any better anytime soon. That'd have been a perfect mentor type situation for Chris Paul. I think that they've really fumbled, and a lot of the draft mistakes over the years are starting to really come back and haunt them. They hit with when they traded for Kale at the draft. They hit with Cam. Obviously hit with D-Book, but they missed on a couple as well, and I think it's starting to hurt them. They missed with Josh Jackson.
They picked Josh Jackson.
They missed those. They missed with Dragon Bender.
Here's the thing with Phoenix. When you have been as bad as they were for a decade, you're gonna have a lot of picks. Meaning you're gonna have a lot of chances to fuck those picks up. If you look at,
That's how we can tell that they fucking.
Speaking of one team who has had a lot of chances to fuck up picks and usually has fucked up picks over a better part of the last 2 decades, the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings currently, as it sits for the first time, the Sacramento Kings, since Young Jeezy hadn't dropped Thug Motivation 101, the last time I'm about to say what I'm about to say, the Sacramento Kings now sit fifth, get people, in the Western Conference, and they are record-wise currently the best team in the Pacific Division. What do you think about the Kings? 2, do you actually think they're genuinely the best team in the Pacific Division? My answer would be get the fuck out of here. Hell no. But what do you think about the Kings in general? Do you think that they can keep this up? Do you think that they, stay in this position? Do you think that they end up in the play-in? What do you think about the Kings?
I do. I expect them to fall off slightly, but no less than the play-in. I think the Kings are. It's nice to see them finally put together. They play hard. They play together. They should. I would be very furious if they do not have at least one guy in that All-Star team on the All-Star team is upcoming, whether it's Fox or Sabonis. More than likely Fox, because people want to see Fox in the All-Star game. But I think this team is cold. Sabonis is playing through a hand injury. They got 2 lights out shooters. I don't want to botch his name. By Donovan. No, is it
Kevin?
Was it?
Kevin Huerter.
I'm confused. I'm confusing him all the time. I don't know why. But Kevin Huerter has been shooting the lights out. They have a top to bottom a very solid team. Mike Brown has been told us warned this preseason in the media that he really pushed his team and they gel together, and they're really showing like that they could be pretty much. I mean, either no less than a top 3, top 2 team in the Pacific Division. Do I think they're the best team in the division? No. I just watched them battle out with the Lakers. I think I'll say that for later. But they've been playing great ball. Davion Mitchell taking a step. Malik Monk was a pickup this offseason. He's balling for them this year. I think they've got good minutes off the bench from Terrence Davis. Keegan Murray is not as good as I thought he'd be this year, but he still has time to show a little more. I thought he'd be in the top 5, top 3 rookie of the year standings. That hasn't really worked out. But when he is out there, when he's missed time to injury, but when he is out there, he looks good at times. But I think the Kings really got something going, and it's not too shocking. But at the same time, the fact that they put it together for this long, like you saw the Jazz hopped out really strong in the beginning of the season. Now they kind of fell off. I think people expected the Kings to fall off, but they held strong, and now they top, like you said, a 5th seed. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I think they can hold on. They'll be no less than a playing team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be a. I think probably I'm just me assuming. I'm assuming the Clippers will end up some level of rectifying the ship. I think the Warriors.
Harrison
I think
Barnes.
I think the Warriors also as well would probably. I think the Clippers and Warriors would probably occupy those last two spots. But I think the Kings have a really good basketball team. Like I know people talk about the Halliburton Sabonis trade. Again, I think that was a lateral move for both teams. I think that is one of the rare trades where both teams actually gained what they needed. I think for the Kings, like I've been saying for the past 2 years, for the past 15 years, I had no idea what the Kings were trying to do as a basketball team. That trade at least let me know when I looked at the roster, like, oh, you have a basketball team that makes legitimate sense. I see what you're trying to do. And Sabonis is having a great year. I know people talk about the year Halliburton has had. Have you seen Sabonis? I think he's leading the league in rebounding, if I'm not mistaken. He's giving you 18 points a game. His offensive rating is 134. 134. He's giving you 6 assists. Like Sabonis is having a great season. Honestly, if I'm gonna give an all-star, I love De'Aaron, but I will probably actually give it to Sabonis, probably. But I do love De'Aaron though. And again, I love what De'Aaron's bringing to the team. I think you had to give De'Aaron space to be De'Aaron Fox. I think you had to get them. Just not to say that Hallie and De'Aaron can't play together, but I think you needed to give De'Aaron space to be De'Aaron. That was a guy you paid. You probably most likely aren't gonna put $200 million in your backcourt. So you had to give him space. And again, like Harrison Barnes has been steady consistently. Kevin Hurt has been shooting the lights out. Like you said, Keegan Murray has been good.
42% from three.
For sure. I just think for Sacramento, one, you're putting yourself in a situation where I think if there's another star that comes up who's a wing that wants to be traded, or even like let's say a guy like Bradley Beal, so I did this in 2K. Like I think you're putting yourself like I think you're putting yourself in like a situation where you could at least attract somebody else to come run with these guys and really like take a legitimate step to being a legit team in this Western Conference. Because again, I don't like I said, when you look around the West, ain't nobody really that far off. Like next year, why can't they be contender to go to conference finals? If guys stay healthy and they keep growing, like why can't they be that? Nobody in my perspective is that far off currently. Like nobody has separated themselves so far away from the pack. I think defensively they still can stand to get better. They're still 24th in defense, but they're third in offense. Like I said, Davion Mitchell was well, for sure their best defender. They could get somebody else to help him along defensively, or maybe to put something else besides Sabonis defensively. But even Sabonis' defensive rating, I think, what is his rating? I looked earlier. His defensive rating is 112. So it's pretty good. And his offensive rating is 134, which is insane. So, but are they the best team in the Pacific Division? Hell no. Hell no. Let's not go that far. I still think the Clippers are a better granted, it could just me be looking at roster, but I still think the Clippers are a better basketball team. And obviously I think the Warriors are a better basketball team than the Kings. But again, the Kings, the Kings have been solid. And I'm just happy that the city of Sacramento finally has something that they can get behind. I mean, even if you watch Kings games, I mean, I don't know if you remember Arco Arena back in the day. You know, when they would play the Lakers, that stadium was loud. With the Cowbells, stadium was loud. I mean, even when you
like
watch
C-Web in there. I know.
Yeah, those teams. The stadium was loud. Like even if you watch Kings games now, it seems like the excitement is at least back in the arena. Like it's to me at least seems like the excitement is at least back in the arena. And they've been one of my favorite watches pretty much all year. So yeah. But moving on, I think another more injury news. Kevin Durant MCL sprains, probably gonna be out for at least a month. Get well soon, Kevin Durant. This came as the Nets. They went on that 11 or 12 game win streak. They lost to the Bulls. They've won 2 games since they took that one loss. Currently, they are 27-13. They are only a game and a half back of the Boston Celtics. Who would have ever thought we would be saying this 2 months ago? But they righted the ship. But now KD is hurt for a month. How do you think the Brooklyn Nets stay afloat? / do you think they can stay afloat without the arguable MVP not being on the court?
I think, one, it's kind of similar scenario to last season, but I think this team is a lot better than their team was last season, considering all the guys they have going and how they've been performing as of late. But I remember last year when KD was they were the 1 seed when KD went down, and that's just when the whole ship sort of failed. But this year they got a Kyrie's probably having one of his best seasons we've seen in probably like 3-4 years minimum. He's out there. He's balling out of control.
Lead the league
Him
in
and
4
KD,
points. I read that.
as far as him and KD, I think KD shooting like 60-some% from mid range. I think Kyrie's not that far behind from him. Shooting the lights out. I think Nick Claxton to me has been a surprise defensive player of the year candidate. And when I've kind of dug into the Nets and I finally watched more of them, I think he's the reason why they have been so good over the win streak. Their ability to switch everything, pretty much what they've been doing, relies on him. I think this Nets team has been one of the best teams we've seen when it comes to switching in years, up there with the Rockets and how good the Warriors used to do it. But I think now is the time. I mean, maybe Kyrie ups his scoring average a little bit, but I really spotlight. Hopefully, we can get more offense from Ben Simmons. Royce O'Neal, obviously, like we talked about, he's having a heck of a season. Arguably, been better than the big time number one pick, Ben Simmons, at times this season. You look at guys like Seth Curry's been kind of in and out of the lineup. We'll see. But I feel like this happens to KD every single year right before the All-Star game. And it's always somebody falling into his leg. I guess he can't avoid these situations. He's so long and just where he's at on the court. But Chan, maybe Markieff or TJ Warren will slide in, get more shots. Hopefully, if he can get a rhythm, and KD's going, if he can come in and get you maybe 14 points per game while KD's absent, I don't see how this team really falls off. If guys can step in and Kyrie can continue his excellent play, I think right now Kyrie is projected based on the votes. He's projected to be starting Eastern Conference guard, if not correct. That's fire. If these guys can keep up their momentum that they had under Vaughn and I don't see. KD has been great on defense, but I don't expect the defense to fall off too much with him out.
I disagree with that. Oh, you said he has been great. Okay, I thought you said he hasn't been great.
KD's been great on defense, and even though I don't expect the defense to fall off too hard without him. Like I said, Claxton is still out there. I think if I have to give somebody defensive player of the year award right now, is going to him to be able to backbone a defense like that, where the guys who don't really have, not really a roster full of guys known for defense, and to be the backbone of that and to be versatile with it while protecting the rim, averaging I think over 1 block a game and switching out in the perimeter, holding on for guards.
2.6 blocks per game.
Over 2 blocks per game, being able to switch out on guards. I think it goes to him. If the season stops right now, I think it goes to him. If you have these guys, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think the Nets they'll be solid.
I think if the Nets take any hit without KD being out, I think it's defensively. I mean, we have to remember KD is still 7 feet. I mean, he also was giving you 1.5 blocks. I think he was also giving you a steal a game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, basically, he was basically giving you a steal a game, giving you 1.5 blocks per game. I think that will probably be the biggest thing if they take any hit. I think they can figure out how to supplement. Like KD, I think is a guy who realistically probably should be on the all defensive team. He probably won't make it, but he probably should realistically be at least an all defensive second team. I think he at least has a case this season to be on the all defensive team. I think he's a guy who even helps Nick Claxton out. I mean, I think, if you even get down to if you get down to the paint, you got Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, and Nick Claxton. If Ben Simmons isn't on the if he isn't on the perimeter, all down there waiting for you. So you get there, they might not be, the biggest guys and strongest guys, but they're still really long. Like I said, KD and Nick Claxton do this, they probably cover up the whole lane if they do this. So I think that they'll be able to supplement the offense. I mean, again, I think hopefully you can see Ben, like you said, hopefully you can see Ben Simmons be a little bit more.
Come on, Ben. We're relying on you.
Come on, Ben. I think Kyrie's square can stay where it is. I think that's fine. I just think you just need more from TJ Warren. I mean, obviously, I don't think he'll go back to Boba TJ Warren, but TJ Warren has been solid. Like, if one thing TJ Warren has always been able to do throughout his NBA career is score the basketball. So hopefully he can stay healthy and, at least maybe give him 15, 16, 17 in their absence. Obviously, Joe Harris is out there. Seth Curry is out there. Cam Johnson, not Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas. Obviously, KD not being there, that opens up 18. That opens up 19 shots per game. Somebody got to shoot them shits. And luckily for the Nets, dare I say it, they still have their closer. For the most part this season, Kyrie has been their closer. So if they can just keep games close, and granted, obviously it won't be as easy to do that without the looming threat of Kevin Durant out there. But if they can just keep games close, continue to play defense, keep games close, I think they can still manage the ship. I think they can still at least not be like they won't fall off a cliff. Obviously, I don't think they win in 12 straight games without Kevin Durant, but I don't think they'll fall off a cliff without KD. As long as their defense can stay where it is, and again, if other guys can just pick up the scoring load, also, but if other guys can pick up the scoring load, I think playmaking. I think they'll miss. I think they'll miss KD's playmaking and KD's defense even more than his scoring. Because, like I said, I think they have guys who can score. Cam Johnson can score. Patty Mills can shoot the ball. Kyrie can score. When Ben Simmons isn't acting like he don't know how to play offense, he can score the basketball. Joe Harris can score the basketball. But I think KD's playmaking and KD's defense are the things that the Nets will probably miss most throughout this stretch of games. But like I said, hopefully, they can stay afloat and you don't have to rush KD back. Because again, I think even like when you look at the Eastern Conference, I think there's a separation between maybe the top 3 teams, I think, or maybe the top 5 teams, whatever. But I don't think anybody is so far away from the pack that you don't think that they can be beaten, personally. So hopefully he can, come back healthy and we can see a really good playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, the Nets have been a really great feel-good story this year to me personally. We're going to be able to switch the topic for a very long time. When the Nets came up, we were not talking about basketball with them. It was
everything
Udoka,
else.
In Udoka, it was, is this guy this? Is this guy, is he really that? What are his beliefs? And they flipped it, and it's all basketball now. So shout out to them for turning that around with a new coach and just a whole new environment, new atmosphere. Shout out to Durant, Kyrie being able to be leaders and get through that controversial stage that seemed like it was never going to end. So this is real good.
For sure. Speaking of the thing we were just talking about basketball, now the Lakers. As the Lakers sit, the Lakers have shout out my homie Dan. He texts me out to every damn game. The Lakers are in their last 10, they are 6-4. I think they had won 6 games straight before they lost last night, but Bron didn't play, so I don't really think we count that one. I read a report that said Anthony Davis has started rehab.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. He ramped it up, basically.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that, he'll be back sooner than later. Do you think the Lakers have found any semblance of a groove? Granted, right now, as they sit, they're almost in the play-in. They sit a game behind Portland. They're 12th, but they sit a game behind Portland. Portland has lost 3 straight games. The Jazz are I think the Jazz are probably going to sell it all soon. Jordan Clarkson has been trying his hardest to get the fuck out of Utah, clearly.
I mean, Clarkson always been like that. He was fighting people in a Lakers jersey.
I ain't never seen Clarkson fight nobody in a Lakers jersey, bro.
He squared up with Jordan Dragic as a second-year player with us.
When did he do that?
Oh my God, you're crazy! You don't remember that?
I do not remember that.
Right now, G.
Same
stance and everything. Put up Jordan Clark. Google Jordan Clarkson. Gordon Dragic. He been on that type of time, but he's always been like that. But do I think the Lakers have found the groove? Absolutely. Number one reason is I got to give him credit where it's due. LeBron James has been absolutely outstanding. He's been playing, just outstanding. Pretty much, honestly, on both ends. The effort, I feel like, from him has drastically increased. I thought earlier in the year he took a lot of plays off, jogged back on defense. Still kind of complains to the refs a lot, but it hasn't been affecting the team that much. But LeBron James has been absolutely outstanding over there. I know he didn't play last night, but besides that, and also even outside of LeBron James, this team, we were able to nag a game versus a healthy Heat team with no LeBron James and no Anthony Davis. Dennis Schroeder is finding his groove. That to be able to get he dropped 30 that game, to be able to get 30 points from him. Reeves is honestly one of the best role players in the entire league. I feel like you put him on any team, he would have an impact on that team. I think Lonnie's been okay. I think sometimes he probably one of the more frustrating Lakers this season when it comes to his off-ball defense and decision-making at times. But this team has been excellent. I think Thomas Bryant has been a great offseason pickup.
Has been a man possessed.
He has been balling. You compared him to Chris Mihm. You ready for the apology? I'm not. You ready for that apology, G? Don't say no.
Thomas Bryant is better than Chris Mihm. Yes.
Thank you, G. They throwing Max Creasy out into the fire. I think, and I haven't even got to. I know Westbrook good off the bench, but I think he should start maybe games like last night where there's no Bron and AD. You playing against the number one team in the. They started Max Creasy over Westbrook. I can't really
Yes,
agree with that one, but Westbrook has been really, really, really good. I think he's kind of running away with that 6 Man of the Year award. With it's a battle between pretty much like I think Brogdon comes off the bench. He's been doing good. Christian Wood obviously. Brogdon.
Yeah, but Christian Wood just started starting recently.
Oh, he's starting. Okay, but I think Westbrook has been absolutely outstanding. He is proving he might get another 2-3 years in the NBA, maybe even more than that based off this season. But this Lakers team has been outstanding. Patrick Beverley still can't really shoot the ball, but I still think he has an impact on the winning that we are doing. I'm not going to throw him under the bus like some of my Laker homies like to do with Pat Bev. I still think he has value to this team. But yeah, this team has been outstanding. Even Kendrick Nunn is finding his groove offensively. He had a couple good offensive games as of late. But I really like the Lakers. I think that I honestly, if you want, I'll take it best. I'm honestly, I'm very confident the Lakers will be a playoff team. I'm not gonna say whether if it's 8 seed or 7 seed or 6 seed. There's only like a 4-game gap between the Lakers and the 10th seed and the 5th seed. I think it's like something like that.
Yeah,
and
it's not crazy.
We compete every night now. This team, they seem like a group. They don't seem like the Clippers where they just go out there and work their little 9 to 5 and then go home. They seem like they actually like each other and they want to be there. And it's very nice to see considering I remember when the Westbrook trade rumors were brewing and it seemed like this team seemed like they hated each other.
I haven't heard Westbrook trade rumors in a very long time.
Yeah, this team seemed like they were falling apart, but as of late, it really seemed like they're growing together and they want to win. They want to compete. They don't want to be embarrassed and they show up. So I think there's a lot of hope with this team. I'm honestly, if anybody wants to bet anything, I would lock it in Lakers to go to the playoffs this year without a doubt, especially with AD on his way back and LeBron James is looking like just playing absolutely outstanding basketball.
Yes, LeBron James has been LeBron James. He has looked like I know that guy. LeBron James has been great, obviously, but that's LeBron being LeBron. I don't really want to focus on LeBron because 20 years. Like, I mean, we can't take it for granted, obviously, but 20 years, like Bron, this is what you have become to expect from LeBron James. Granted, he's 38 years old. This is what you have come to expect from LeBron James. I want to focus on everybody else who you haven't been expecting this shit from. Thomas Bryant. I went to the game that Thomas Bryant started on. He looked like he couldn't catch the ball, and it looked like it was it was an extreme drop off from Anthony Davis the first time he started. Granted, obviously he's not Anthony Davis, but Thomas Bryant has been pretty damn good. I think against the Kings, he had 18 and 18. He's been rebounding the basketball. His jumper is solid. He's been number one catching the fucking ball, which I think catching the ball is such a very underrated part about basketball that people
especially for a big man.
Especially for a big man, you have to be able to catch the basketball. He's been catching the basketball. He's been playing great. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. I might be tripping. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I don't think I am. Maybe if I go back and watch all of Russell Westbrook, I might feel differently. But I don't think Russell Westbrook's decision making has ever been as good as it is right now.
Ever?
Yes. I don't see him throw that many stupid ass passes. He throws some because he's Russell Westbrook, but I don't see him throw that many. I feel like Russell Westbrook has gotten to the point where his passing is actually underrated. I think people just think he just runs to the paint and throws the ball when like
I definitely know people who believe that. I definitely know people who believe that,
but I actually, when I watch the game, I see him manipulating the defense and passing guys open that usually would not be open. He's been competing defensively as well. Like he hasn't just been letting people, walk by him. And again, I think the main thing that we talked about all year with the Lakers was, granted, they are 22nd defensive rating and 18th in offensive rating. So that does not currently bode well for playoffs. But I think the thing that we all thought with the Lakers this season, even when they were losing, was the fact that they would at least compete. It looked like times last year when they were like, if they go down 10-15, we're checking out. This year we've seen they might go down 10-15. They keep playing, and wind up getting back into the game. And I'll say this. I don't know if they found a groove. I won't say all of that. I will say that they have been looking better. I won't go ahead and say that they're fine, that they found a groove. I don't know all about that. But here's what I will say. if the Los Angeles Lakers can get to the playoffs and they can get to the playoffs healthy, obviously my thing about LeBron and all these minutes is it's cool, but you 38, bro. Like you gotta protect that man and kind of say that man from his self. Now, granted,
Yeah, he ain't played last night.
yeah. So like
That's part of that. So
yeah.
then
So
they
you
already
gotta,
act.
but same time with that is how many games can you afford to have LeBron miss when you're still trying to make the playoffs and you put yourself in the hole that you put yourself in? But I'll say this: if the Lakers can get to a playoff series, I look at the Western Conference, especially the top half of the conference. You talk about the Nuggets, you talk about, the Grizzlies, you talk about the Pelicans. I don't think any of those teams want to see LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis 7 times over 2 weeks. You still got to beat them 4 times in 2 weeks.
I can't disagree with that.
That's the only thing that's the only thing that is what I will say. If they can get to a point where they can at least get to a playoff series, when I looked at the team, not saying it can't be beaten, because they can, but you still have to take it upon yourself to beat this team 4 times in 2 weeks. And I think that's when experience takes over. Like that's when like LeBron James, who's been, playing basketball 20 years, is just gonna know certain things in the playoff series and know certain things and moments in those series where, a team like the Grizzlies, even though they've been to the playoffs, still may not know, or like the Pelicans, even though they've been to the playoffs, still may not know on the level that he knows, or like Anthony Davis, like just the capacity that he has. I think that's the things that when you get to a playoff series and again you have to scheme for these guys and beat these guys every single night, I think that's when that shows up. But yeah, I'm not gonna go on the line and say that they found a groove yet. I will not go online and say they found a groove, but I will say they are playing much better basketball, and hopefully Anthony Davis can come back soon, and they can be a playoff team, because I think it would just be cool again to see, especially now, with fans back in the arenas. Just cool to see the Lakers playing legitimate playoff basketball again. I think that would be cool for the city, and cool for me because I'm gonna go to the game. So yeah. Speaking of another team that could be possibly finding a group, the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks had at one point in time, well, they are 8-2 in their last 10. Luka Doncic obviously has been playing, incredible. He had the 60-20 and was it 60-20 and 10?
Yeah, 60, yeah. 60,
Yeah,
21, and 10, I think. Yeah.
some outrageous 2K my player numbers that he had. He's actually having probably his best season as a professional. I mean, he's 34 points, 50% from the field, 35% from three. They inserted Christian Wood into the starting lineup, and it seemed like that uh uh jump started them a little bit. Christian Wood is averaging 18 and 10 now. Well, basically, no, he's averaging 18 and 8 now. Spencer Dinwiddie is 16 points, 45% from the field, 40% from three. What do you think about this Dallas Mavericks team? Do you think that they can make another conference finals run? Do you think that they can withhold the position that they are right now? And also, would you, if the season ended today, would you vote Luka Doncic for MVP?
If the season ended today, I would. That's a tough question. I mean, if the season ended today, I would. Who would I? I wouldn't go with Luka Doncic for MVP, just because I feel like there's other guys who are pretty much. I mean, Dallas is fourth. You can't say they are winning. You can't really use that argument anymore. But guys who have been able to win more than he has. If you look at the Tatum's, the more consistent win throughout the year. The Jokic's, even the Zion Williamson, maybe even a Ja. I don't think I wouldn't lock it in Luka just yet. I do think, to give Luka credit, he's having one of the best fantasy seasons we've seen in the history of ever. He's up there with 2016 Russ, with 2014 KD, 2013 LeBron, last year Jokic, like pretty much the top 5 fantasy season in the history of NBA. Since he's just physical, he's insane. He's there every night, rebounds, points, assists, just absolutely filling the stat sheet. He's getting guys involved. He's got a real rhythm going on in Dallas with his guys. He's building chemistry with Christian Wood. That was a offseason pickup that pretty much most people were high on, but we didn't sure how it play out, and we see how it played out now. It's looking good. Dinwiddie has been able to get his shots up, but I think the Mavericks, I think they can even shoot up higher. I think. I know Luka's a little banged up right now, but I don't think he's anything serious. This Dallas team, they should be fine. They are. I mean, besides, I'm not sure. It depends on what we can get from. I think that can they make a if they can. I'm trying to think if they can. I don't think that they can make a finals run just yet. They're a little too reliant on Luka. I know one reason why they have been able to. Reggie Bullock is finally hitting threes. He started off season in the slump. He was only hitting like 25% of his threes, and they rely on him to sit there and shoot threes and guard bigger wings. He's been coming along. The fact that the help has been coming along has really helped this team. But Dallas, I think they have found a groove. I think I locked them in for. They definitely are a second round for sure team, and then I honestly think the sky's the limit. But I wouldn't guarantee them anything past the second round. I think the Mavericks have been solid this year. I'm trying. I don't really have too much more to say. Dallas is they're pretty good. Luka Doncic is the top 5 and top 3 MVP candidate without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if I think it's the season ended today, I don't have an issue voting Luka. Granted, they listen. If I gave it because I think people talk about Luka's supporting cast. I'm not one of the people who doesn't think Luka has
pretty far.
I'm not one of the people who thinks Luka doesn't have help. But there is this narrative that Luka doesn't have help. I'm not one of those people. I think sometimes Luka be dribbling and don't always use the help. But I'm not one of those people who doesn't think Luka doesn't have help. But the narrative is that he doesn't have help. Also, Luka is having an incredible season. I mean, you 34 points, leading the league in scoring, and you basically shooting 50% and 35% for 3, and you giving me 8 boards, and you giving me 8 assists, and you've had. I mean, when you just look at the value he's bringing to the league, I mean, he's pretty much on like he has a highlight pretty much every single night.
He's box office.
Yeah, like his compilation from this season is gonna look foolish. He's dunking on people. You having 60, 20, and 10 games. You doing
under and dunking. Everything, every type of highlight you want to see. You want to see a post hook. You want to see a crossover.
He's doing it all.
A no look pass.
He's doing it all.
All of that. I think the no look thing kind of comes from sometimes they have like when his supporting cast has bad games, they can be really bad games. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. can mess around and go fucking
0 for 10.
9 for 10 one game, and the next night he come out there and give you 2 for 13. Same thing with Bullock. Same thing with a lot of the guys. I think the only real consistent piece, like we said, is Christian Wood. Even Dinwiddie will have a 30.91 game, and next day he come out there and he'll fucking give you 5 points. But I think also some of that has to do with Luka. I think sometimes he does stall his guys out. I think he has to be held accountable for when guys have those bad games as well, which is why I don't want to give him a free pass. But yeah, you can see on.
Yeah, so like, but as far as found the groove, I mean, I'm not gonna say found the groove, but I mean, I think that as long as you have Luka Doncic, you'll have something to say in the playoffs. Again, that's a guy you got to beat 4 times in 2 weeks.
If they get matched up with the Clippers, I'm gonna be crying laughing for about 3-4 days in a row before that first game starts. If somehow, the standings shuffle every night, but if they still somehow matched up, yeah, that's gonna be
for sure. But I mean, yeah, I mean the Mavericks is again, Christian Wood's been playing great lately. But yeah, I'm not gonna say they found a groove, but they for sure been playing better basketball. Do you think the Mavericks could use a trade? Moving on, actually, trade deadline talk. Number one, because obviously at this point we are about a month away from the trade deadline. I think it's a very weird trade deadline because I don't know if some teams want to accept that it's over. And I don't know what teams will be like, fuck it, we're just gonna sell. And I don't know what teams are still gonna like go for it. Like, for instance, teams like the Utah Jazz. Right? Like currently they sit in 11th. They're 20 and 23. Like you said, they started off hot. Jordan Clarkson is a guy, he declined his option. No, he didn't have an option. He declined to re-sign. So that's a team where it's like, what do? Do you try to go, I mean, granted, Danny Ainge, for the most part, his history hasn't been of a guy who's trying to tank. His history has been of a guy who tries to put competent products on the floor and rebuild while still trying to win basketball games. But yeah, like, are the Mavericks a team that need a trade? Like, is there somebody out there that you think, yo, yeah, put them on the Mavericks and this would take them to a different level?
Yeah, there's. I mean, a couple like the Wizards would have a fire sale. I think if maybe I think Detroit they got a couple assets. If they had a fire sale, there's guys out there that could definitely help this team, but I'm not sure if there's really a piece out there that would put them over the top because if you add another guy to Dallas that's not a real star, it's kind of just going to be the same thing. He's going to be another guy to stand around or
Catch and shoot.
another guy is like another supporting cast guy. And I think they have plenty of that. So I think this team is pretty much they just got to rock with what they have and maybe in the offseason or maybe them I still think they're haunted by the fact that they just let Jalen Brunson walk. Same guy who just dropped 44 last night or the night before that, whatever that was. He's having an outstanding season in New York. They're still haunted by that. I don't think there's a guy that's just a trade away that'll put them to where, oh, they got this guy now. The Mavericks are locked to go to the championship. So, I mean, they kind of just got to rock with what they have. But, I mean, if they was to grab somebody, maybe a Boji from Detroit or maybe even also like I talked about earlier, Cal Kuzma, it would help. But there's not really an over-the-top guy out there. I'm like, they need to go get him now to give Luka his first ring.
What team that we haven't talked about do you think needs a trade?
What team that we haven't talked about that needs a trade?
Or that we just haven't mentioned that they need to trade yet? Like, what team do you think we need to trade? And if you could give me somebody who you think would be great from there.
I think if you put who's more? It's tough. You got anything? I can't even think of the top. If you put like a. You already got that. I don't know. Back on him. I mean, maybe if you do like an Alex Caruso on the Mavericks or something like that, I think that'll help him a lot. More a dirty work guy. Get around, catch some lobs. I mean, catch some lobs. Just do some fly around the court for him. Take a little bit more pressure off Luka. That'll help. But who else has been really in rumors like that? You expect it to be a silent deadline, or you expect it to be like a?
I think we have to identify what teams are gonna say fuck it, as opposed to what teams are. Go ahead.
I definitely. I mean, I know this is. I mean, if the Lakers are able to get Cam Reddish from New York, I think he would help them.
You keep talking about the Lakers and Cam Reddish.
Well, if I think they're not asking for a lot. I don't even think Tom Thibodeau knows.
They want
a second.
Yeah.
They can have him for a second. I mean, I don't think Tom Thibodeau even know Cam Reddish exists. I mean, you might as well.
He don't be playing him.
Exactly. You got Cam Reddish.
Oh, keep talking.
This is kind of tough for me. I can't really. We talked about. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt is on the Jazz. If they go fire sale, I think he would drastically help out. He can help the Nets. He can help. You put him on damn near any contender team. Jared Vanderbilt. If the Jazz want to go whole fire sale mode, send him to one of those better teams. Maybe you get also. I mean, that would be perfect. I mean, what about if the Jazz were to go whole fire sale mode? You ship Vanderbilt to Cleveland. I think they could really use a bigger wing.
I don't like Vanderbilt in Cleveland.
You don't like Vanderbilt in Cleveland? I don't like their wings. I'm not really big on the.
See, I don't think Vanderbilt is a wing though. I think Vanderbilt is like a front court player.
More of a four, you like?
Yeah, I think it's more of a 4-5 twin. I don't really think he's a front court player. I think for Cleveland, I think. Wait, what? Who could Cleveland use? I think Cleveland could use like a OG Anunoby.
Oh, that's nice.
But see, I was talking to the homie about this. Shout out, my homie Waz. We were talking about the Raptors, and for instance, like the Raptors are like 11th, right? They're 17 and 23. They're a half game back. They're a game and a half back of the play-in. What do you do?
That's a good question.
Do you try do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you go for it? Do you try to upgrade it? Because the Raptors, for the most part, usually they build through the draft or through trades. They're not really even though I've heard Toronto was a great city, the issue with that is you're there doing the winter for the most part. So you there and it's cold as hell. So like
you have assets too.
So, like, what do you do if you're the Raptors? And again, the Raptors are a team, like I said, they do have actual assets that people would want, like OG. Right? I think he leads league in steals. I think there are many teams who could use. I think the Nuggets are a team that could use OG services. That's what we had talked about. I think the Nuggets are a team that, you put that next to, Jokic. And now I think you really, really have something because you have a guy who is a defensive player of the year level type player. Not a guy who might necessarily win the award, but he's a guy that could, I think, anchor your defense from like whatever position that he's anchoring it from. But like, how does he get there? So it's like certain guys like that, or like even like the Atlanta Hawks, right? Currently, the Hawks sit at outside the play, where they're in the play-in at 19 and 21. You've heard rumblings about John Collins. They said they want a Donovan Mitchell type Rudy Gobert package. That's capping. You're not gonna get it. But where does like they've been trying to trade John Collins for years? Where does he go?
They got to figure out somehow to compete. They mortgaged too much of their future for to get DeJounte. So they gotta figure out how to turn this shit around. I think they need to. I mean, I'm not blaming their struggles on Nate McMillan, but it seems like the team has given up on Nate McMillan. So I feel like they need to go ahead and move on from him and see if that can give them the jolt they need to get some sort of momentum, because they traded way too much to bring DeJounte from San Antonio to this team to be as bad as they are.
Also, another team, the Spurs, right? Like you got Jakob Poeltl, you got Josh Richardson, you got Doug McDermott, all guys who I think can help some basketball team. All like any team that needs shooting, try to go get Doug McDermott. He can't be that expensive. Like let's say, I mean, I don't know who. Let me look at Doug McDermott. Milwaukee, maybe. I think they could maybe use another shooter. I mean, I think that Bogdanovich from Detroit would probably be the perfect thing for them, but that may be a little bit expensive. I think Doug McDermott is probably a cheaper option. Josh Richardson. Who needs a Josh Richardson? Who needs a Jakob Poeltl? Who was a team that could use Jakob Poeltl?
Ooh, random question for me. Hey, why do you think Scotty Barnes regressed to you this year?
Is he who?
Has he regressed to you this year? Like moved backwards pretty much in his development? Why he hasn't? I think I had high expectations for him. He's only averaging 14 points per game on 44% shooting from the field.
I don't. We can say he's Before I speak, let me look at something real quick.
What are you gonna look at? His stats wise?
No, I'm saying no, not even that, because like they have people at that position already. Like OG is still at that position.
So you think they got a Clippers problem where they got too many?
Like they have guys at that kind of position already. Somebody has to not eat.
You know what's wild? On 2K they have Siakam listed as the center. I don't know if you just next time you play 2K, just scroll over to the Raptors. I know he's not.
No. I think he actually does play center. Yeah. I think with this thing, like they just kind of like play like a whole bunch of big people. It's like Van Vliet, Gary Trent. I think is Van Vliet, Gary Trent. I think it's OG, Scotty, and then Siakam.
That's wild.
But and also at this end, and the fact of the matter is that Siakam has stepped up. Like Siakam is averaging 25 this year. Last year Siakam averaged 22. So it's like somebody has to not eat. But yeah, the Raptors are a team that I think is very interesting. Like they have assets. I think the trade deadline could be. Eric Gordon is a guy who's been waiting to get saved for years. I think if Phoenix could figure out a way to go get an Eric Gordon or go get a Jordan Clarkson or go get a Bogdanovich or go get a something, somebody else who could dribble and shoot, I think that would be huge for them. I just think it'll be an interesting trade deadline. I think it'll be an interesting trade deadline.
I was also surprised. You see Fred VanVleet turn down that money. He turned down like $100-something million.
He better go find that contract.
He tripping.
Better go find that damn contract. He better go find it, because I don't put it on the market. He better go in his house.
He's tripping.
Sift through the documents and go find that contract.
For a 6'1" guard, averaging 18, he should have took that as soon as that money. No questions asked.
But yeah, like I think it'll be interesting deadline. Like I said, I think Milwaukee could maybe use one more shooter, maybe another piece. But the thing with Milwaukee is Chris Middleton. Like if he's gonna be hurt, then like what the fuck? But if Chris Middleton can be back and play basketball, I think that would fix a lot of Milwaukee's problems. But I think they could maybe use a shooter or one more shooter. Like I said, a guy like Jakob Poeltl, I don't really know where he could go. I think you had said the Nets, but I think people would think the Nets need another big, but I'm not really somebody who thinks the Nets really need another big.
I'm not. Now that I kind of looked into how they play, I don't think Poeltl would fit with the Nets. He's not switching it. That kind of ruins. You're not switching everything with Jakob Poeltl out there.
Yeah,
Not happening.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know who would use a guy like that as I'm looking at it.
You talking about Poeltl?
Like who? Maybe Dallas.
They put Wood at the Wood is the 4, right?
I think Wood plays a 5 in Dallas sometimes. I think.
I know he plays it sometimes. Does he start at the 5 though? I don't think.
I think he starts now at the 5. Like maybe Dallas or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's something the Lakers could do. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be an interesting trade. Maybe the Warriors make a move. I don't know. Maybe they try to get some more size, more rebounding help. But I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting trade deadline. I think we have to. I think we have to identify what teams want to sell, and based on that, will determine what goes on at the trade deadline. Because again, there's some teams where it's like, do we want to try to make the play in, or do we want to just say fuck it? Like nobody, for the most part, nobody is that far out of it. You can be a playoff team, but it's like, is it worth it for you? That's on each and every organization that's in that, I want to say 8th to 12th slot, maybe the 13th slot, to decide for themselves. But last topic of the day, the All-Star game. All-Star predictions. Did you see the fan voting numbers that came back?
Yeah, I did.
Can you find the fan voting numbers? Do you have them on hand?
I can find them real quick.
I'll find them.
Yeah, hold on. I'm pretty sure it's in this group, somewhere in this group chat. Hello?
Yeah. Currently, as it's the Eastern Conference guards, Kyrie is leading. Donovan is second. James Harden is third. Jaylen Brown is fourth. Trae Young is fifth. DeMar is sixth. LaMelo is seventh. Tyrese is eighth. Derrick Rose is ninth. And Darius Garland is 10th. I think out of that group, probably Kyrie, Donovan, Harden will probably make it. Trae Young. Kyrie, Donovan, Harden, Jaylen Brown got to make it. Trae Young. We already have 5 guards. It gets tough after that.
You said after how many guards? You talking about the West? Or you said
I was talking about the East. It gets tough after that because I still like Garland. I like Halliburton. LaMelo, I don't think LaMelo is gonna get it. He ain't played long enough. DeMar, no. I don't know if I think it gets. Kyrie is a lock. Donovan is a lock. I think Harden is a lock too. Jaylen Brown is a lock, and Trae, I think it's probably a lock too, based off his numbers. That last 2 spots, or maybe 1 spot, depending on how many front court players they pick, is very interesting.
You gotta go Hallie. We talking about like
you have to go Hallie.
I think so. Aren't the Pacers the 6th seed?
Yeah, but you gotta go Hallie over Garland.
Yeah, because you only need 1 All-Star for Cleveland. I don't think they need 2. If Halliburton didn't exist, you give him 2, but Halliburton is having too good of a year for them not to have. I think Indiana has earned the All-Star appearance. Somebody got to represent them. Isn't the game in Indiana? No, or I could be wrong. No, it's in Jackson.
No, it's Utah. It's in Utah. Okay. Front court, it was Kevin Durant was leading, Giannis was second, and Embiid was third, Tatum was fourth, Jimmy was sixth, Siakam was Jimmy was fifth, Siakam was sixth, Kyle Kuzma was seventh, Paolo Banchero was eighth, Nick Claxton was 9th, Jerry Allen was 10th. I think KD is a lock, Giannis is a lock, Embiid is a lock, Tatum is a lock.
Kuzma has more votes than Bradley Beal. I didn't see that coming preseason. I know Siakam, Kuzma's a popular player, but damn.
Siakam, I think, should make the team. And those last 2 spots in the East, Oh, Randall. I think Randall should make the team.
I like how Claxton got votes. They even voted for Paola.
Yeah, Paulo. I think Randall should. I think Randall should for sure make the team. And Bam. I think Bam deserves it.
Bam
I
is
think
actually
Bam
having a pretty
deserves
good
it.
year.
Yeah. I think Bam deserves it. Jimmy, he'll probably get it, but I don't know based off of like how many games has Jimmy played. Jimmy has played 27 games. He's played a little bit more than half. Yeah, I guess I can give it to Jimmy. I guess that's fine. I guess Jimmy can have it. So yeah, that was in the East. Me personally, do you have any disagreements with that?
In the East, no, not really. You said no, not in the East. Besides the Halliburton thing and
That's fair. I'm not.
LeBron being there.
I'm not
Yeah.
mad at that. The Western Conference, it was guards. Steph was leading. Luka was 2. Ja was 3. Shea was 4. Clay was fucking 5th. Russell Westbrook was 6. Dane was 7th. Devin Booker was 8th. Austin fucking Reeves was 9th, and Jordan Poole was 10th.
What stands out the most? There's no De'Aaron Fox on the all those cards.
No De'Aaron Fox on there, but they had Jordan Poole on there and
Yeah,
Klay Thompson.
I really like what All Star voting shows us. It really shows us who is
Famous.
It really shows. Like I think it's I'm sorry, I like what it like highlights and shows us to our face.
If I had to go for the All-Star, I would go obviously Steph Curry, Luka, Ja, Shea. I would go Dame, and you got to go Devin Booker. You got to go.
So it's 6 guards and 6 bigs.
I think it could be. I think because it's like the team is 12 people, right? So I think
Yeah.
it could be the 7 guards, the 6 bigs, or yeah.
Oh, okay, it can vary. Or
Yeah. But I think I would go Book last. I think that's what I would do. De'Aaron is gonna be hard to put in there. I'm not putting Clay in there. I'm not putting Jordan Poole in there. Yeah, I'm not putting Anthony Edwards in there. I don't know what BI is if he front court or back court, but I'm not putting him in. I'm not putting.
no, he ain't played enough.
Yeah, I'm not putting CJ in there, even though I fuck with CJ. I'm not putting CJ in there.
Not putting Jamal Murray.
Not putting Jamal Murray at all in there. Not putting Chris Paul in there this year.
No, hell no. No.
So yeah. In the West, we have LeBron James, Jokic, Anthony Davis, Zion, Andrew Wiggins, Paul George, Larry Marketing, Draymond Green, Kawhi Leonard, Kevon Looney. I mean, I think Bron is a lock. Jokic is a lock. AD should be a lock. Zion is a lock. Then it should get tricky. Zion is a lock.
You said Bron, Jokic, Zion, lock, and then the last spot is tricky. Okay, or the last 2 spots.
Yeah, last 2 or 3. I'm gonna go Sabonis
or Paul George.
How many games PG play? Okay, PG played 30 games. All right. Paul George, Sabonis. And I guess we can go Larry Marketing. Would you be mad at going Larry Marketing?
I'm not mad at going Larry Marketing.
I guess we can go Larry Marketing. I guess we can go Larry Marketing and round it out.
I see Larry Marketing shoot a couple threes in the All-Star game. That'd be, especially since the game is in Utah, like you said. That'd be nice to have one.
You do need a Utah representative. He might dunk on somebody or some shit like that.
He might get a slipper dunk, slide dunk.
Yeah, facts.
He got a couple posters this year.
No, he dunked the shit out Vucevic. See, he boomed on Vucevic.
I did see that.
Destroyed Vucevic. So yes. Larry does have a couple bodies this season that he couple souls that he snacks this season. But I think we can leave it there for today. We can reconvene next week. Do you have any last words for this pod?
No, I don't think so. But Lakers playoff lock. Don't let them sneak up, be healthy, beat somebody. I'm coming for a lot of people. Promise you that.
My last words are: I'm beating you in fantasy basketball this week. Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Beating you in fantasy basketball this week. And I also should have took that Zach LaVine trade when you offered it to me. I should have took it.
I had a fire. Hey, even Ron, he wouldn't take Zach LaVine either. I tried to. I'm trying to help people out. People don't understand. I told them. I probably told you too. It's coming. I'm going to run. You don't want to hear me. When I listen, I'm the best
off my team.
comes to trading, I'm the best at trading, bro. So like, just hear me out when I want to offer you somebody. I'm not. I know how to make sure both parties benefit.
But who did you
Look,
want? But no, who did
I'm
you
gonna
want
look
off
again
my
right
team?
now. I'm gonna look right
You
now.
wanted RJ or some shit like that?
RJ, I wanted RJ. Why you give me him then? You should have gave me his ass. I probably wanted. What team is this?
I tell you, I
Bro,
got some hitters.
let me get AD.
No.
He's not even playing.
No, because when he comes back, no, I'm not giving you Anthony Davis. No, bro. No. Fuck out of here.
Gee, what about
who?
You're not trading Rudy, your buddy. You're not trading him.
I can trade Rudy.
Rudy and Green.
What? 2 people? For Zach?
Bro, Levine is he got his knee back.
Yeah, but 2 people?
Yeah, I'll throw in like Wendell Carter or something. Did I forget to? Oh, I didn't put Levine in yesterday.
That's interesting. I want to think about that. Well, I ain't trading with you this week though, because we ain't at war.
All right, for sure. Let me update my.
I'll think about it.
All right, let me update my lineup right now.
Okay, so for those that don't know, we are playing against each other. Here's my team: Steph Curry, Jalen Green, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, Rudy Gobert, Dennis Schroeder, Draymond Green, Kevin Love, Spencer Dinwiddie, Terry Rozier, Ben Simmons, RJ Barrett, Kevin Huerter, Anthony Davis. And Joe has De'Aaron Fox, Colin Sexton, Marcus Morris, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Austin Reeves, Kelly Olynyk, Giannis, Zion, but that's fire. Franz Wagner, Zach LaVine, Bogdanovich, OG, and Wendell Carter.
Bro, my team is better.
Not really, bro. If I'm healthy, it's not really better, bro.
See, I gotta get my game together. I'm only 6-6.
If my team is
around 10-2.
If my team is healthy, not really. But like I said, we can leave it there for the pod. Appreciate all y'all that watched us and have been watching us over the years. Thank you. And Joe, get your plug in. Tell them where they can find you at.
Get me on Twitter at the Jolt with 2 S JOLTSS. Get me on the gram, Joe R. Wilson. I think I'm gonna cover the Culver City game tonight on the Hoops and Brews account. I'm gonna coach my first game next week by myself. Middle school going for the championship. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. But yeah, stay up over this rain clear up. We good over here, and that's it for me. Thank y'all.
And as always, man, follow me on Twitter at Pavy. That's PAVY World, all one word. I got a show Saturday, actually. Well, not Saturday, Sunday. At NoHo. It's at this day party. I will be posting details. On my page is 40. The party is 49. I'm not sure what time I go on. I'm sure I know that closer to the end of the week. But yeah, man. If you in LA, stay dry. Sun is out right now, but again, stay dry. Stay up, and until next time, man. We will holla at you.